This is how I've structured my strength training in the last couple of months. It's made me stronger overall, not just in the gym, but in the pool, on the bike, and on the runs. And I think a lot of endurance athletes are overcomplicating their strength training today. I try to see it as a simple triangle with two levels. Let's dive in. I have a simple Notion page I'm gonna walk through with some different toggles. First one being like why it matters, and it's quite straightforward, right? It's for better power transfer, performance enhancer, improved neuromuscular efficiency, greater long-term durability, and like lastly, better overall health and athletic capability. Because strength training is very important. Most of us are maybe having a office-based day job, so we're sitting a lot during the days. Other people are moving a lot in their work, and we all need this basic strength training. And if you add on top your endurance training on that, you see we need strength training a lot more than you think. And I try to see strength training in a simple two-layer triangle when it comes to strength training for endurance athletes. And firstly, you have the bottom part of this triangle, and I call it build the athlete. And it covers about 80% of the strength training you should be doing. And then the top part is about the 20% left of sharpening the athlete. So firstly, you have to build the athlete, the base, the foundation of the athlete. Then you can spice it up and sharpen the athlete with some spiced up exercises, sport specific exercises, and stuff like that. So this is a very simple layout and should give you a aha moment in terms of, okay, maybe I am making it too hard for myself. Maybe I should take a step back, focus on getting the base done and just the basics, becoming very good at those, and then I can add other exercises on top of that. And to walk a bit more into like the bottom part, I have a few examples and more of the bottom part of what it means. And like the bottom part is about the heavy compound lifts, the basic movements we have. And it's low to moderate reps, progressive overload, full body strength, structural robustness. And from reading this, you see that like the exercises that covers these points are the big movements, squats, different types of deadlifts. It could be sumo deadlifts, normal, trap bar, lunges, pull-ups, heavy rows, split squats, press variations. These are all exercises that targets more of the body. In like this layer, you shouldn't be isolating on specific parts of your body. You should choose big movements that are targeting more of your body. Very important. And then if we go over to the top part, we have something I call sharpening the athlete. And what it means is that this part, when we have the foundation, when we have the base, and when we have the strength from the basic exercises, we can add more exercises on top of that are sport specific strength exercises. Could be plyometrics, elastic work, stability work, rotational work, weak link strengthening, all that stuff. And example of those exercises are Copenhagen plank, single leg calf raises, box jumps, different band exercises, shoulder stability, rotational core work, whatever it is, hip mobility, But it's very important that you have the base first. And it's very common today that it is the other way around. As I mentioned, you have a lot of different exercises that are good for triathlon, for example. And you see online a bunch of different circuits. You should be doing this, you should be doing that, and you should be doing X and Y and Z, whatever it is. and you end up having a lot of exercises that you want to fit into your workouts. And you end up going away from just the basics of squatting, deadlifting, pull-ups and stuff like that. And those will give you a lot more than all these sport-specific exercises that you add in and do a few times per week. So try to really think over this two-layer triangle. Like, where are you today? How are you structuring your training? Are you maybe doing the other way around with a lot of different drills, movement, exercises, and then once in a while doing these heavy compound lifts? If yes, try for a few weeks shifting that. Do more of the heavy compound lifts and add those sport-specific exercises on top of that later down the line. And how can you structure this in a session? In my case, I do 3 gym sessions per week, 2 to 3, but I plan 3, and first exercises of each session are probably 2 or 3 of them are compound lifts, like heavy ones, and I focus on low reps and maybe 4 sets, 3 to 5 sets, but 4 sets is usually where I end up. Low rep, 5 to 6 reps. I don't need more than that. And I leave myself room to fully recover between each set. So I make sure I get the most out of each repetition, because this is supposed to be heavy. Like, this heavy strength training directly improves your performance in your disciplines. And then after that, I start to add the accessory work, the sharpening block, and I try to add the accessory work and the sport-specific exercises in supersets to save up some time. And then I could do a few more of those exercises, but it doesn't have to be a lot of them. If you get the foundation, the heavy compound lifts right, you will get a lot further than you think. And what I do, I always plan every session full body. That leaves me a lot more room and flexibility if I need to change the plan around, if I maybe have something that comes up that I need to prioritize before my gym session. If I have 3 full body sessions each week, I know I will hit full body at least once or twice, and then it's okay to sometimes skip maybe the 3rd gym session. And it makes it a lot more flexible, as I said, to actually make it work during the weeks. And yeah, that's actually how I structure my strength training. It's not in depth of how to build the workouts, no, but hopefully this has given you an idea of what to focus on, and maybe just a heads up, or like more a aha moment of like taking a step back. Like, what should I focus on going forward? Where do I want to build performance and strength? And just go back to the basics. From my perspective, now the last couple of months, when I have shifted my focus to the basic movements, I have a lot more fun at the gym. I try to be there for 45-50 minutes, but I always end up being there for 75 to maybe 80 minutes, because I just enjoy it so much, spending time on these heavy movements, because endurance training overall is such a endurance training like type of exercise, because it's a lot of hours spending in zone 2, not that much of intensity work depending on what type of discipline you're doing. But in my case, I do long distance triathlon. A lot of it is just zone 2, and it's not that heavy. I feel fresh after the sessions, which I'm supposed to do. I'm just supposed to build a base from them. But it's so nice to do these heavy movements, to feel like I really, really have to push myself. But that's it for this one. If you're training for an endurance event, do not skip the base training. Build the athlete of yourself first, then you can sharpen the athlete with these sport-specific exercises. So if you need help with structuring this strength training and maybe the running part, cycling part, swimming part, whatever sport you're doing, I could help you with that. You could reach out to me via the information in the description down below. That's it for this one. I hope to see you in the next one, so peace.